So I only had about a day. If I decided I wanted to change this top myself, it was gonna be my first time. It takes an experienced person 8 hours. But I would have enough confidence in myself to knock this out in a day. Hello guys. So the top for my 2001 Toyota MR2 Spyder is not doing very well. So a couple of months ago, I noticed that my top started developing small tears right above the top of the window. You know, outside of these tears, my top was in pristine, perfect condition. So of course, what I was thinking to myself was, what can I do to arrest the size of these cracks, such that the problem doesn't get worse, and that I could possibly get a couple years out of this top. So I went to the forums, went to Spyder Chat, I went to the Facebook group, and whenever you're on these groups, there's sometimes you notice that there are a couple people who are so knowledgeable that whatever they say is most likely the truth. And what I've learned is that when these cracks start to form, you're on borrowed time. There are things that you can try to do to slow it down, but within a year, you're going to need a new top, no matter what you do. But I decided to try to use things like rubber cement, try to use Gorilla Tape, the Gorilla Tape sealant, and I don't know whether or not those things actually made the problem worse, or it's just like those people said, that once these things start to happen, you're on borrowed time. But within 4 months, the problem got so much worse. And, I get into my car sometimes and things would smell damp. That's because, water was finding its way in, because many more tears started to form. So the tears started not only be in the back of the windowsill, but started to form all over the top. Like it was just kind of crazy to see, that it just started to deteriorate everywhere and so quickly, right? So after that happened, I decided that it was time to, buy a new top. So after doing a bit of research, I had a decision to make. I had a decision, first decision, cloth or vinyl, and second decision, which brand, And there's a kind of a big range of top prices. If you go to Tops online, you notice that the price of tops will range from about $400 for the low end budget option, all the way to about $800 for the more premium option, which is the Robbins top. All right, so I had two decisions to make. I had to go with cloth versus vinyl, and then which brand to make. Do I go with a budget brand like Extreme Tops, or do I go with the top brand, like Robbins stuff? Cloth costs a bit more money, so some people might think, oh, if I go with the cloth, the reason it costs more money is because it's actually like more durable, or I'll get more longevity out of it. And that's not the case. What I found is that these tops kind of last around the same amount of time. Actually, some people would argue that vinyl is actually better because it is far easier to clean. From what I discovered, cloth tops are really hard to clean, really hard to keep clean, and that the reason that they cost a little bit more because they cost a little bit more to make, and people just kind of generally like the look a bit more. I decided to go with the cloth top, despite knowing that it will cause me a bit more headaches down the road, keeping it clean. If you're the type of person who wants to deal with that, making sure that your top looks fresh is something that is not high on your priorities, and you don't want to worry about it too much, maybe vinyl is the better option for you. The other option is which brand. I decided to go with the Robbins top, and that's because just based on word of mouth. Everyone that I saw online or asked in the group were very happy with the Robbins top. There are people who were not so happy with their Extreme tops, or felt that it just was made of cheap materials, which compared to Robbins, it is. For some of the more mid-range tops like Easy On, a lot of people they think that the Robbins top is better, but is it worth the extra $200 or so that you're going to need to get there? And for a lot of people, it's no. A lot of people are very happy with the Robbins top. They think the Robbins top is better, but is it worth the extra outlay? And I was like, I just want to get the best one. So I decided to go with Robbins top. I decided I wanted a cloth top, and I decided I wanted a Robbins top. So I solved that. The next thing was, I need to install it. Now, I always thought that I was going to install this thing by myself, but after looking into it, installing it is quite a tedious affair. So I think it's budgeted for around 8 hours for someone who knows what they're doing. And then people online in the forums who have done this type of replacement a couple times, and they can usually handle it in about 4 or 5 hours. I do not have a garage. I street park my car and cover it in a nice California car cover. So I only had about a day. If I decided I wanted to change this top myself, it was going to be my first time. It takes an experienced person 8 hours. But I would have enough confidence in myself to knock this out in a day, or risk, having to have my car, exposed to the elements overnight and try to, to complete it the next day. I decided that it really wasn't worth the hassle. People are very happy with the Robbins tops, but one thing that they've said is that occasionally they send out a bad product that isn't stitched right, or just isn't workable, right? And if you don't, and if you get an installer who isn't certified by them to install your top, they might say that there's nothing wrong with the top. The problem was the person that you decided to install it, didn't do a great job and they broke something. So I didn't want that hassle either. I just wanted a problem-free install. I decided that that was worth the money. At least that's what I thought until I started looking at how much these things will cost. So for some reason, I just assumed that installing this would cost about $600. So it's like, $600 is a good price to get this thing installed. And I had a very rude awakening whenever I started going around trying to get this thing installed. First of all, regular mechanics, they usually are not going to want to work on this. You're going to have to go to an upholsterer. So I started calling them, and I was just very surprised by the prices. And I have a little recreation for you right now. Okay.
Hello, Affordable Upholstery. How can I help you?
Hello, I'd like to get a quote for installing a new top on my car.
Of course. Make the model of the car, please.
It's a 2001 Toyota MR2 Spyder.
Okay, gotcha. Do you have a top already, or will we need to provide one for you?
I will be providing my own top.
Okay, hold on 1 second. Alright, I have the quote. It'll be $1,000.
So I noticed that these things were, to get these things installed, it costs a lot of money. The highest bid I got was about $1,000, $940, and the lowest one was around $800. And, that's a lot of money. I found myself in a position where I thought that installing or paying an installer was the way to go. But thinking of spending an extra $200 to $400, I thought to myself, this is worth probably getting it installed myself. It's worth attempting to try it myself. But again, for reasons that I discussed earlier, I kind of determined that, maybe I should just get this thing installed by a professional. I don't want to have to worry about it. And that's what I did. Car's on the way back. I should be getting it shortly. And hopefully it will look good. I just kind of wanted to share the story with you guys. I kind of usually just make video game videos or random videos about other stuff, but I kind of found that this situation was so funny, at least to me, that I just kind of wanted to share it with you guys, because I did not expect to spend this much in replacing my top. So I'm just kind of curious, what are your stories when it comes to replacing your top? Do you think that it's very easy to do? Do you think paying someone $1,000 to do it is ridiculous? I've seen online, and it really is quite a monumental task. But thank you guys for watching. I just want to share the story with you guys. Have a great day.